my soldering iron. And the stand just fell on the ground. Well, at least that lifted track has gone back down. Ow. Alright, now I'm just going to clean this with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, or if you don't have that, metho would probably be best. And now I've just got to find my metho. Don't forget to turn your soldering iron off, we won't be needing it for a little while. And as punishment for it burning us, we should also put it in the freezer. Ow! So metho, Australian owned and made if you can get it. Look at that focus. Because you've got to support the local economy. And what do I need? I guess a rag or something. Ideally you'd want to use something that has no static or as little static as possible, but as you can see I'm not using any real static precautions. I mean, I'm working on a wood bench, I guess that's a good thing. Not working on something that's really staticky. So just get a bit of metho on there and just give the pads a bit of a wipe. Oh wow, they clean up really well. And there you have it. Beautiful. With your isopropyl, try and use a good isopropyl that has a high percentage of isopropyl alcohol. The more water you have, the cheaper it is, but it's probably not good for the board. And there you go, it's done. Now I've just got to work out how to use my flux pen. Flux pen. And get the chip back on. We'll be back. Next trick is to add flux using my flux pen, which doesn't seem to be as fluxy as I was hoping. Is there meant to be anything happening? It's leaving some residue there, I guess that's good. So anyway, once you've done that a little while, it's pretty boring. It's time to drop the chip in. Make sure you align the dot with the 0, otherwise you'll be in some trouble. With flames mostly, I'd suspect. Now my soldering iron's reheated. Hope it's not going to burn me this time, but I guess we'll wait and see. So the trick here is to add, you can try and align it as best you can. You can even use Captain tape, which is quite temperature resistant. It's this yellow tape. I'm just not going to because I'm lazy. So I've added a bit of solder under the tip of that. You shouldn't need much. Actually, I probably added too much. Let's try and remove that from the top. So just a smidgen. Just a smidgen, because right now what we're just going to do is try and tack some of the corners down. So we'll just see how we go. So try and align it as best you can. There's no prize if you align it well, except a higher chance of success. So take your time. Oh, it moved. It's doing so well. Or you can just start with one side and just hope it works. Oh, add more flux. You gotta add lots of flux. So make sure your sides are nice and even, and the tops and the bottoms all align. Maybe I should use Captain Tape. This flux pen is crap. Cool, I tacked it down so that it's misaligned. That's cool. I bent the pins with the soldering iron. Well, there you go. Let's try that again. A little bit more solder. Oh God. You probably can't see it in the camera, but I've just added a massive blob of solder to the side of the chip. Wow, drag soldering works though. I don't know if anyone else got one of those exams or tests in primary school, and the first step was to read all instructions, and they only gave you a short amount of time to do the test that was extremely long. And the first instruction was to read all the questions thoroughly, and then at the end of the test it said don't do so many questions, only do these certain questions. Well, I need to learn how to read the directions. I failed that test, by the way. I did as many as I could. I didn't read the instructions. Depress tip to start flux flow, and massive amounts of flux just came out. So now I know how to get the flux pen to work. You need to depress it, and flux comes out, just like the instructions say on the side. And then all you do is you just run the soldering tip along or on it or whatever. And it should just be magic, really. Unlike the other two sides, which are completely mangled. Solder braids come in somewhat handy, but it's going to need a bit of fixing up. And I'm going to need to use my magnifying glass to check that there isn't too much damage. You only need a very tiny amount of solder. I'm just trying to... the tip to solder. I've changed soldering irons again, by the way, just in case anyone was wondering. Wow, flux makes a crackly noise. Uh-oh. Huh. Damn it. There are a couple of pins on this one that weren't working so well, and they've just joined and been soldered together now. Joy. One side is completed. I had 4 pins on the end that were terrible, so I've just been going through and checking the traces to see where they lead to. And continuity, next pin along, nothing. It's clear from that pin on. Check the second pin. Check the first one. Nothing. Second one. Third, fourth, fifth. We're all good. Third pin joins up to this thing here. Looks as though a capacitor was going to go here. Oh, that's the fourth. Where's the third one run to? 1, 2, look, it's that one. And that's the third one. So all the other pins were okay. So about 21 of the 25 were good. And the last 3 I mangled. Now the other sides are pretty shabby. This side wasn't too bad. This one needs a bit of work, and this one has the same issue that this side I just explained has. So I'm just going to go through, fix it up, make sure it's 100%, and then we have to give it a test and also see what it does with and without a 50 megahertz oscillator versus a 100 megahertz. Curious to see if it'll actually run at 25 megahertz. Time will tell. And it looks okay. So that side's done, and so is this side. As you can see there on the right hand side is where I had difficulty. All the other ones are beautiful, but this side was a bit more messy. A lot of the pins just wouldn't flux down properly. Look at all that flux on the board. Now I've just got 2 more sides to go. It is taking a lot longer than I'd like, but I guess that's what happens. This side doesn't look too bad. It's just that some of the pins got bent up the top right. Yeah, that's fine. And the final side, it's actually pretty good. There's just a couple that I need to check just to make sure they're okay. And then we'll move on. Well, better get checking. Well, the CPU is in place. My camera is extremely out of focus, but we made it. Chip is in. Will this Mega PC run at 50 megahertz? Unlikely. I've still got that 50 megahertz oscillator in there, so I'm going to remove that now. And then I'll have to disassemble my Mega PC, take out the current 486 board, which runs at 33 megahertz, pop this one in, see what happens. Alright, so it's rigged up to a ViewSonic TV and a power supply. Let's connect the power and see what happens. No signal. I'm gonna go and say that's bad. Damn it. Bit of heat. No signal. Could mean anything. Could mean anything.